everybody, GeGe Yoga here. Welcome back to my channel. Today's yoga is a cozy restorative flow and it's all about self-care and self-love. So hop into anything comfortable that you have. I'm wearing my favourite big jumper and my favourite comfy socks. This is going to be a beautiful, slow, fluid flow. So let's get started. For me that's cross-legged like this, but you can be sat on your shins if that's more comfortable. And I invite you to close down the eyes with the palms on the knees for grounding. Get comfortable into the practice. So today's theme is self-care yoga, and self-care definitely gets a bit of flack in the media for being self-indulgent and all of that sort of stuff, but I think it's truly really important that you find at least one or two things in your day or even in your week that are acts of love to yourself. We can so often forget to treat ourselves because we're so busy looking after everybody else. So I invite you to commit an act of self-care and self-love today by coming onto the mat, just taking a small amount of time just to move and breathe with me. So here we go, we're going to take a deep breath in through the nose and an exhale through the mouth, so sigh it out. Two more just like that. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Wonderful, opening up the eyes. We're just going to start with a little bit of self-massage here. Now, this in itself is a lovely thing you can do for yourself, just sat in your office chair, taking the yoga off the mat and into your daily life. So taking your right hand to your left shoulder, give it a good little massage. Really get the fingers deep in there. Maybe you move your neck around a little bit, whatever feels good. Don't trap your hair like me, that hurts. And then swapping and going on to the other side. Not forgetting about the breath whilst you do this. Self-massage with some deep, loving breath. Wonderful. Okay, and bring it back to centre. We're going to take this theme of self-love and self-care really literally here, and we're going to be hugging ourselves a lot during this practice. So we're going to start straight away with that. So wrapping one arm on top of the other, doesn't matter which. Give yourself a huge hug across your chest. You may feel a stretch in the upper back and also across your shoulders here. So just breathe here. And then on your exhale, I want you to dip the chin to the chest and curve the spine. Okay. As you inhale, lift up, reaching the arms behind the back, clasping the hands, and then taking the hands away from your tailbone as you lift the chest up, up, up. And as you exhale, I want you to come back to that hug. Maybe you wrap the opposite arm. And again, rounding the spine. Feeling that stretch across the upper back. One more time, just like that. Inhale. Reach your hands around, clasping them at your back, then pulling them away from your tailbone. And exhale, let it go. Amazing. Just to finish off seated here, we're going to just give a little bow to your practice. So coming either onto your forearms, your fingertips, you can come to a block if you have one as well. And you can also go further, feeling a lovely yummy stretch in the outer glutes. Okay, rolling all the way up to spine, back up to seated. I want you to come to face the long edge, the top edge of the mat, and give yourself a huge hug here. Give yourself a big old cuddle. It doesn't matter what kind of day you've had or if your day's just started, everybody needs a hug sometimes, even if it's from yourself. Okay, and we're gonna do one of my favourite yoga things here, which is rolling along the spine. So I want you to, maybe you need a little bit more space here. You can always take your hands to your knees for this first one. You're just gonna roll back, whee, and up. Roll back, yeah, and up. I am 26 years old, and this makes me feel like a kid. I'm here for it. I love it. Keep breathing. Give your spine a well-needed massage. Now, if this is scary for you, you're also welcome to just come onto your back and just massage side to side like this. Completely up to you. You meet your appropriate edge, and then making our way to all fours. Planting the hands underneath the shoulder points, the knees underneath the hip points. Inhale. Drop the belly, lifting the chest, lifting the tailbone. And exhale to round through the spine, tucking the tailbone under, really creating that C curve with your spine. Inhale, dropping the belly. Take a deep lungful of air. And exhale, cat pose. Really pushing through your palms. Inhale, back to neutral tabletop, and then tucking the toes, exhale to your first downwards facing dog. Now, really want you to have a healthy bend in the knees here. So just really warming up into the practice, bending one knee generously, and then the other. Maybe you tick-tock your hips side to side, or I personally enjoy doing a bit of sexy dancing here. I'm such a nerd. And then just holding in stillness for a second. Inhale. And exhale. On your next inhale, looking to the top of the mat, bending the knees, and then really mindfully making your way to your forward fold. Maybe you walk heel to toe. Maybe you cross the feet as you walk. But we're all meeting in this forward fold. Generous bend in the knees, so you bring the navel to the tops of the thighs, and then let your head drop heavy. Then try not to get suffocated by your huge jumper. And then we're going to slowly roll up the spine. So deep inhale, vertebrae by vertebrae, as slow as you can make it. And the head comes up last. Wonderful. So we're just going to repeat the little hug clasp ditty that we did on the floor, but we're going to do it standing. So I want you to give yourself a huge hug here, crossing the arms over each other. Inhale. And then as you exhale, start to round the spine. Inhale, reaching the arms behind the back, clasping the hands, reaching up, tug the shoulders away from the ears. And then exhale as you give yourself a huge hug around the spine. Beautiful. Inhale, reaching behind and clasping hands behind the back. And exhale, keep them clasped this time. We're going to come into a chair pose, or a sort of modified chair pose with the hands clasped behind the back. So I want you to bend the knees, really plant into the soles of the feet, tipping the hips back in a sort of squat motion. We're not going as low as a squat. Really mindful of Make sure that your knees are not in front of your toes, and pushing your hips back. Put your navel to your spine to protect your lower back. Inhale. And then exhale to let the hands go and forward fold. Beautiful. Inhale. Halfway lift, lengthening through the spine. And exhale to fold. Inhaling, planting the palms, stepping back to your plank pose. And then exhale, dropping onto the knees, bringing the chest down as you bend the elbows. And then inhale into your cobra. Keeping the elbows bent and physically touching your rib cage. And as you exhale, coming up through your tabletop, tucking your toes to your downwards facing dog. Beautiful work. Okay, here we go. So I want you to take your right foot through between your hands here, and then lower it on the back knee. Keep those back toes tucked. Remembering that you don't always have to slide so deep into it. If you want, you can absolutely have your legs at more of a right angle if that's more accessible to you. You work to your appropriate edge today. Inhale, reaching the arms all the way up to the sky. And exhale, with mindfulness, bringing the fingertips down. I want you to reach your hips back and straighten that front knee. Really actively pull the toes towards your face. Really active here. And then exhale back to your low lunge, lifting the back knee. You can always keep the back knee on the ground here, always options. Planting the left palm. As you inhale, I want you to reach the right arm all the way up to the sky. Easy twist. Really strong through that back leg. And exhale to bring the hand back down. Take the foot back to plank pose, really strong here. Strong line from the tip of the crown to your heels. And then coming back to your downwards facing dog. Beautiful work. Okay, other side, here we go. So left foot comes between your hands, bringing that back knee down. Inhale, reaching up to the sky, energy through those fingertips. And then bringing the fingertips down, pulling the hips back and pulling those left toes towards your face. You're in half splits. Deep inhale here, lengthening through spine, navel comes to the spine, so no collapsing here, there's lots of integrity. And then rolling it forward, lifting that back knee, planting the right arm down. We're gonna peel the left hand all the way up to the sky. I really want you to think of like a bow and arrow effect here. So you're pulling, and then you're reaching. And then exhale, bring that palm down, step it back to your strong plank pose. This is a restorative practice, but we're still strong through it. And then back to your downwards facing dog. Beautiful work. Okay, this time we're going to turn that back left foot onto a 45-degree angle and then bringing the right foot through. So coming into your warrior one. Reaching the arms all the way up to the sky and then bringing your hands together in Anjali Mudra. If this is a bit much for you, you can definitely give yourself space and have your arms wider. That's absolutely fine. Inhale. Strong through both legs, really pressing into the outside blade of that back left foot. And exhale. On your next inhale, clasping those arms behind the back. And exhale as you lift your chest. Okay, turning onto the back toes, taking those hands back down to the ground, into your plank pose, and then exhale, downwards facing dog. Let's do exactly the same on the other side. So let's prep that back foot first, turning the right foot onto a 45-degree angle, and then stepping that left foot through. Reaching the arms all the way up and overhead, option to bring the palms together in Anjali Mudra. Now remembering with that back leg, we need to keep the hips closed, so not open, closed here. So think of really pulling that front hip back and scissoring the inner thighs towards each other. Beautiful. Okay, on your inhale, reaching the arms behind you, clasping the hands, and then lifting the chest. And then turning onto those back toes, taking the palms down to the ground, back to your plank pose, and then to your downwards facing dog. Beautiful job. Inhale. And on your exhale, dropping the knees down. Great work. We are going to come into an extended child's pose here. So big toes to touch, knees are as wide as the mat, and then walking your hands forward as mindfully as you can. And bringing the chest down and then the forehead. Now I have an option for you here that I particularly enjoy. Bringing the palms together, we're going to create a little shark fin for ourselves. So bringing the palms together here, I want you to bend the elbows so that you've got your little shark fin, and then we're going to bring it up and overhead. Okay, and then coming back up onto your hands, but keeping the big toes touching and the knees where they are. We're going to do a bit of thread the needle here. So taking your left hand to the midline here, we're going to do that bow and arrow effect again. So peeling the right hand all the way up to the sky. Inhale here, really growing through that hand, twisting through the spine. And as you exhale, I want you to bring that hand underneath the left arm, threading the needle. Now, you can absolutely stay here, or if you want to bring that arm forward, you get an extra stretch on your shoulder. If you want even more than this, you can take a bind, bringing that left arm behind your back and then holding onto the inside of the right thigh. Deep inhale and deep exhale. And again, inhale and exhale. Okay, on your next inhale, if you're in a bind, free yourself from the bind, pressing into that left palm to bring you back up here. And we're going to do the other side, so bringing the right hand to the midline this time, really pressing up through that palm, so no collapsing here. Inhale, bow and arrow, reaching that left arm all the way up to the sky. Energy through the hand. And exhale to thread the needle and take whatever level modification you want to take. On your next inhale, unravel, pressing into that right palm to come up to your knees. Okay, I want you to separate your toes now, bringing yourself back to your traditional tabletop position, but then walking your knees back slightly. We're heading towards puppy pose. So we're walking our hands forward and aiming to bring the chest down to the ground. Your bum is high up in the air, like a dog. Waggle that tail. And you can bring yourself some space here, so widening the hands, widening the arms. That gives you more space if that's what you'd like. And then you can either bring the chin to the ground, so it's a little bit more intense, a bit more opening, or the forehead. Okay, next inhale brings you back to all fours. Popping onto one side of your bum and then coming to a seated position. We're going to come back into the hug that we did at the start of the practice. So just give yourself a huge cuddle here, hugging your knees, and just let your head drop. I want you to think of one act of self-care that you're going to carry out for yourself today. Whether it's just to put some clothes on, or go for a walk, or call your boyfriend, or your mum. For me, my act of self-care is always coming to the yoga mat. But whatever it is, commit to doing that for yourself today, no matter how small or big. Okay, lifting the head. We're going to do a tiny bit of core work here. So I want you to lift one leg, lift the other. Hey, we're in boat pose. Savasana. Reaching the arms forward. There's a couple of options here. You can have the toes down if you need a little bit more stability, and then just work on lifting one leg and then the other. If you're in traditional boat posture, you're here. And then if you want a little bit more, you can practice straightening one leg, maybe straightening the other, maybe you go for both. And then let it go. Bringing your knees a little bit wider, plant the soles of the feet and just flop over. Let your chest and your head just dip into the middle between your legs, and there's no holding here. Let your belly rolls hang out. Okay, coming up. And then the next thing we're going to do is come down to the mat. So give yourself space to roll back. Hands forward, last bit of control work here. I want you to roll down as slowly as you can bear it. But if you flop, it's okay. Really slowly. This is an act of self-care, just really tending to your spine as you roll down your back, not just cranking into positions all the time. And then bring your knees up here. Depending on the space you have, either bringing your arms out wide or to a cactus position. I'm a cactus girl today. Inhale. And as you exhale, dropping the knees over to the left side and then looking back over at your right arm. Really gentle spinal twist here. And even if you're just here, that's okay too. Focusing on keeping both shoulders on the ground as well. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale brings you back to center. Okay, and exactly the same on the other side. You can choose to maybe bump your hips ever so slightly to the left to give yourself more space. And then taking that twist over to the other side. Last inhale here. And exhale back to center. Give yourself one huge last hug. Bringing your knees into your chest and peeling your head off the ground. Trying to almost kiss your knees. Option to actually kiss the knees. And let it all go. Coming into Savasana, so legs wider than the mat, let the ankles drop out, arms wider than the mat, let the fingers naturally curve in, palms facing up, and then give your chin a slight tuck into the chest to lengthen the neck, and just melt. Coming back to that act of self-care that you're going to do for yourself today. Really visualize it, and if all you have today is 5 minutes, then make that 5 minutes count, even if it's taking some deep, beautiful breaths, waiting for the kettle to boil. Maybe it's that cup of tea that you're going to have after the kettle's boiled. Whatever it is, commit to it. You can stay here as long as you like, and particularly for this practice, I recommend you stay at least 5 to 10 minutes. Just really let your mind relax. You deserve it. Thank you for sharing your time with me today. Namaste.